So let's talk about getting a real grip on your finances. We're going to break down a simple system that actually works. And look, forget all those get-rich-quick schemes. This is about a disciplined, totally achievable path to taking back control, even if you're on a regular salary. Let's dive right in.
And this is probably the most important place to start. That 50,000 rupees, it didn't just appear out of thin air. It wasn't a lottery win, it wasn't some massive promotion. It came from a repeatable system. It's an honest admission, you know? It shows this took some work, but it also means it's something that literally anyone can start applying to their own life.
Does this whole thing feel a little too familiar? The salary hits your bank account, and for a glorious day or two, you feel rich. But then, without any big splurges, no luxury holidays, you get to the end of the month and just kind of wonder, where did all that money go? It's this super frustrating cycle, and believe me, it is incredibly common. Yeah, let's actually look at how this plays out. Day 1, the salary arrives. You feel like you're on top of the world. Then by day 10, the big bills get paid. Rent, utilities, all those subscriptions, and your balance takes a pretty big hit. By day 20, it's the little things, the daily expenses that really start to pile up. And before you know it, it's day 30, and you're often left with little to nothing. It's a total financial and emotional roller coaster every single month.
Okay, this is where things really have to click. It's a core mental shift. So often, we tell ourselves this myth, I just need to earn more. But the real truth, the much more powerful truth is this, I need to handle my money better. The moment you realize the problem is your habits, not just your income, well, that puts all the power right back in your hands.
So where do you even start? Well, not with saving, actually. You start by diagnosing the problem. The very first step was this simple 7-day spending audit. For 1 week, every single purchase, no matter how small, even that one coffee, gets written down. And the goal here isn't to judge yourself, it's just to see where your money is actually going.
And you know what that audit usually finds? It's this. It's almost never one big, catastrophic expense. It's the slow, steady drip of small, what seem like harmless purchases. You know, the food delivery here, an unused subscription there, a few random online orders. Individually, they feel like nothing, but together, they create this massive, invisible drain on your account. So once you see where the leaks are, the next step is to install one single, powerful rule to plug them up. This right here became the foundation for the whole new system. It's such a simple filter for every single potential purchase. Just ask yourself, was this something I actually intended to buy, or is this just an impulse that's popping up right now?
So this all builds into a full system, which you can see right here, and it's based on 4 really key ideas. First, you reduce the frequency of all those small, leaky purchases. Second, you delay your impulses to figure out what's a want versus what's a need. Third, and this is a big one, you automate your savings. And fourth, you add a little bit of friction, just to make mindless spending a little bit harder.
All right, let's talk about that first step, reducing how often you do things. And the key here, this is super important, is that it's not about cutting things out completely. You don't have to stop ordering food forever, but as this chart shows, can you maybe go from doing it 10 times a month down to, say, 3 or 4? It's all about being more intentional, not about total deprivation, and that's what makes the change stick.
Now, what about those bigger things you suddenly want? Well, for any unplanned purchase, this rule is an absolute game changer. See, most impulse buys are driven by an immediate feeling, right? By forcing yourself to wait, you give that emotion time to fade away. And what you'll find, more often than not, is that after a few days, let alone 30, you don't even want the item anymore.
Honestly, this might be the single most powerful trick in the whole system. Pay yourself first and do it automatically. The day your salary comes in, a fixed portion, maybe it's 20%, maybe it's less, whatever you can manage gets automatically transferred to a separate savings account. You never even see it, so you're not tempted to spend it. You just learn to live on what's left. It's brilliant.
And the last piece of the puzzle is to just add a little bit of helpful friction. We're not talking about extreme measures here. It's just about making mindless spending a tiny bit less convenient. So remove your saved credit card details from websites. Force yourself to get up and physically find your card. Uninstall those one-click shopping apps. It just gives you that extra moment to pause and ask, do I really need this? And the results, after just 3 months of applying this system, and hey, not even perfectly, right? Just consistently, this was the outcome. A tangible, real saving of around 50,000 rupees. It is absolute proof that focusing on habits and systems instead of just wishing for a higher income produces real, measurable results.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. Because as great as that number in the bank account is, the most profound reward was something else entirely. It was an internal shift, a fundamental change in feeling and in mindset.
Because this is the real win. This is the ultimate goal. The true payoff isn't just a bigger savings balance. It's the end of that constant low-level financial anxiety that so many of us live with. It's the peace of mind that comes from knowing that you are in the driver's seat of your own financial life. And let me tell you, that feeling of control is priceless.
So as we're wrapping this up, the final piece of advice is probably the most important of all. Please, don't try to do all of this at once. That's just a recipe for feeling overwhelmed and quitting after a week. Instead, just pick one thing from this whole system that really resonates with you and commit to that. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. What is your one thing? Will you start that 7-day spending audit this week? Will you just delete one shopping app from your phone? Or maybe you'll set up that very first automated transfer to your savings. Just take a moment and decide, what is the one thing you'll do to start your own path to financial control?